towards areas in
Means the sound will work now too. Okay, can you all hear us? Nope. Can you hear us? If you can hear us.
Hello.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, we hear you. We hear you.
Great.
Bear with us, a little technical difficulties tonight. It happens.
So that's what it was that little piece?
Yeah, I just.
Okay. Hi, Anita.
And then I don't think the space bar is working still, so. let's see.
Oh,
All right, so I'm gonna connect to my computer here.
yeah, I don't know why it's not.
What's the? One second, guys.
Do these look like, triple A or double A? Okay. I do have triple, I don't have double. Okay, let me go get to that.
What's the password in here? I might have them.
I have it, no, I have it.
I might have it on my phone.
Oh,
I'll be right there, but I can get it.
Juan, you can sign in and take the agenda.
Did you hire somebody yet?
Not yet. We're gonna start interviews the beginning of January.
Okay, just so you all know, it's just me tonight and we're having a little technical difficulties. We'll be up and running in just a few minutes. Thanks for your patience. All right, y'all, what I'm doing is I'm logging into a different computer because my keyboard's not working well and I'm gonna try and get myself set up here. In the meantime, we're still waiting for a quorum as well, so hopefully we'll get a quorum soon. Usually we cannot actually take the agenda into action until that, but we can hold it attention until then.
What's the password?
I got it. Oh.
On my phone.
Okay, we're working it out tonight, slowly but surely, guys. Can everybody hear and see us and see the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your guys' patience. Turn. All right. All right, so welcome to the Housing, Land Use and Zoning Committee. Hopefully you are in the right place. I'm sure you are for fun and frivolity. This is our December meeting. We have a couple things on the agenda to take a look at. We do not have a quorum, so we are going to call this meeting to attention. Let me move this down a little so you can see. Yes, thank you, Olga. Oh, on the side. I'm working from two different computers. All right, so I'm gonna call this meeting to attention. We can't actually take a vote because we don't have quorum yet. We have myself and my fellow committee member and Yutha here. Thank you for being here. Yutha, could you help move this forward? Thank you. But we have on the line here, we'll see on the line.
The keyboard still isn't working.
It's not, okay. All right, my keyboard is out then. Okay. So let's just do a quick introduction while we try and wait for a few other board members. I know Annette is on the way. Who's signing in over there? I can't see.
Alana.
Hi, Alana. Oh, that's great. That's another committee member. So it's 1, 2, 3, and with Annette, that'll be 4, and that should be quorum with the excuses, I believe, so, and Clayton's excused too.
Oh,
We should reach it if Annette comes in. Cross our fingers. All right, so we're gonna call to attention, and while we're waiting for a few more people, this is the agenda for the evening. Oh, wait, did it pop off? Right, sharing that again. Can you all see the agenda?
Yes.
yes.
I cannot hear. Why can't I hear it? There we go. There it is. Okay. That's better. All right. So I'm just gonna ask if anyone has anything, well, welcome everyone. We'll do introductions in a second. If anyone has anything to add to the agenda, we'll also ask for that in just a few minutes. Let's just go around and do some quick introductions. We don't have a huge group right now, so welcome everyone. My name is Signe Mortensen. I am the co-chair of Housing, Land Use and Zoning. I've lived in the neighborhood 16 years. I live up on 150th Street. Happy to have you all here. This is where your voices are heard on the grassroots level of city government, is what I like to say. I like to say it's a, pyramid from the top down to our elected officials. We are the voices of the people. So thank you for raising your voice tonight and being here with us. I'm going to pass it along to my fellow committee members to introduce themselves, and then we'll go on to our public members and any other community board members that are with us tonight. So, Juan, why don't you take us off to the next?
Juan Colmenares, I'm a high school teacher at Randolph. I've been living in Harlem since '93. And, I love the community board.
We love you back, Juan.
Next,
Your batons to Ilan.
Sorry, Alana Mercado, been on the board since 2017. I can't remember it, right? Is it
2017 sounds right.
I'm on this committee. I'm on the Arts and Culture Committee. I'm originally from the Bronx, but I've been living in Harlem since 2006.
Excellent.
So
You introduce yourself. Our fearless leader.
Youth District Manager. I've been with Community Board 9 too long to even mention. Happy to be here and assist in the meeting tonight. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Yutha, fearless leader. And then online, I see Barry's on. Hi, Barry.
Hey, everybody. Oh, can you see me?
Yes, we're having trouble hearing. Yeah, we can see you. You look nice.
Thank you very much. I'm wearing a tie by Modern Thread, aka Liz.
There we go. I think I got this number. Great, Barry. All right, I think that is all of our committee members, and then we'll go to public members here. I see Olga's on the line. Olga, say hello. You there, Olga?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Julie?
Hi, Olga.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, everybody, and holidays. I hope Nigeria continue with this team, working hard for our community and needs.
Thank you. Let's see, anyone else on the public member side on the call tonight? I don't think so. Oh, Anita, why don't you say hello?
And the chair is on.
Yes, I'll get to the. Anita, say hi. You there?
Hello, I couldn't unmute myself. Sorry about that. I'm desperately hitting my phone. I live in around in the neighborhood in Hamilton Heights, and this committee is very important, and there's so much going on. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you. So let's move along now to some other community board members I see on the line. Our chair, Victor Edwards, is on the line. Thanks for joining us tonight, Vic. Hello.
Hello, good evening all. Victor Edwards, Chair of the Board here. Thank you, Sydney, for holding it down as usual. And thank you for the members who have shown up this evening. Looking forward to a great meeting.
Thanks, Vic. I see we've got Heather Jason. Hi, Heather. Heather is a community board member.
Hi, I've lived, resided in the Sugar Hill area for the past 27 years, and I'm co-chair of the Landmarks Preservation and Parks Committee. I also sit on the Health and Environment Committee. The Landmarks meeting, we meet the first Wednesday of every month at 6:30. Thank you.
Good shout out. Thanks. And then I don't think I see any other community board members on the line unless you're new and I missed your name. I think we're good. But we're kind of a small group, so I see a few familiar names. Why don't you just say who you are, and if you're from an organization or representing anything, let us know. Or if there is a concern you came here with tonight, something that you want to bring up to the community board, let us know that, but we're going to add it to the agenda to talk under new business, where you see new business and discussions. So just give us, a quick topic that we can put under there, and we'll get to you as soon as we get to new business, which shouldn't be too long now. So I see Audrey from DCP. Why don't you say hello?
Hi, everyone. My name is Audrey. I'm a borough planner at DCP, working with community boards 9 and 12.
Thanks, Audrey. I see a name I don't recognize as much, Barbara Sofer. Hi, Barbara, why don't you say hello?
Hi, Barbara Sofer, from Sofer Management. We have the corner building on 125th and Broadway, and I just want to stay familiar with the neighborhood.
Great, thanks, Barbara. Important to have you here. Thank you. Let's see, Christy Armfield, please say hello to us.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Christy Armfield. I've lived in the Hamilton Heights area for over 40 plus years, and I like to attend the meetings because I really like to keep up with what's going on in the area.
Yeah, this is the place to find out, right?
It is, it is.
We appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all.
Oh, thank you, Christy. And I see Hayel on the line. Hi, Hayel, say hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heidi Sanchez. I live in the neighborhood as well. I'm here on behalf of Broadway Housing Communities, as well as the 695 Tenant Association. Great to see everyone.
Good to see you too. Next I see Willie Suggs. Please say hello.
I think they're muted.
Yeah, Willie, can you unmute and say hello, or? Maybe not. Okay, well, we can come back to you, Willie. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh.
I think that's everyone I see.
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, it's Willie Suggs. I've been here since 1985, and I try to always keep up with what's going on with our neighbors.
Thank you, Willie. Thanks for being here. Wonderful. Well, for all those that are here just to learn and hear from the community, this is the place to be. Thank you for coming. That said, we're still waiting on one more member to call an official quorum. We do need a quorum to start official business, like voting and such, but we can call to attention. I am going to see if there's anyone out there that might be willing to help me with minutes tonight. If not, we'll just make sure we're recording here. We are recording, right?
Recording in the cloud.
Yeah. And we're recording, so we'll get the minutes off the recording if that works. And I believe there's a way to transcribe now and maybe get AI to help us out a bit. I don't know if we have that option, but
I didn't need a recording to the cloud, but
yeah, it is. It is recording as far as I see. Let's see. It says stop or pause, so it should be. Let me make the transcript happen so that. Hey Barry, do you know if we have the feature where it can transcribe and do AI for us? I feel like it's a new feature on Zoom.
So if you turn on the closed captions, that will make sure that I can't remember the word for a long running transcription, meeting transcription.
Yeah, I
And I
just saw something pop up that said AI companion on the transcript, so I'm hoping that's it.
Yeah, I requested the AI be turned on, so I think that'll do it.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was hoping. All right, so that should, cross our fingers, make it easier for the minutes. That's always a challenge. Our fearless note taker Clayton is out tonight, so we miss him terribly when he's gone. All right. The agenda as it lies, is there anything anyone wants to add to that before we move along and hopefully Annette comes flying in? Anything to add to this agenda? We've got our regular call of business plus Barry and youth. I see we got the capital project approval for 644. All right, so let's just have a quick chat about that. And then legislation, we're watching Bill S990 regarding damp tax abatements for HDFCs. And that's a long going bill that we've been watching. So we'll talk more about that under old business. But is there anything else to add? Is there any specific developments we should add to discuss under developments we are watching, or we'll just kind of review the regular stuff we've been watching? Anything new? If anybody has updates in the other old business sections that is aware of any updates, we'll ask you to add those at the time you see under old business. All right, we've done the introductions. I don't have any presentations or announcements this evening, unless anyone has a quick announcement they want to make about events. You know, housing related, always great, but I'm happy to hear about other things too. So, are there any announcements or important events happening we should know about?
Well, there's approved tree lightings. I don't have it in front of me. One is at the Jackie Robinson Rec on December 11th.
Okay.
And then there's an event at Jenny Farrell Riverbank State Park on December 21st, Saturday.
All right.
I don't have the particulars, but if they're on our e-blast list, they received it today.
So
I sent out a few.
That's a good point. If you're new to the meeting tonight or have not been getting e-blasts from the community board, please let us know in the chat. I think you can private chat me and we can add you to that list. I can also add you to our specific housing, land use, and zoning email to get reminders for this meeting, as well as other important housing matters that we're covering. So please private chat us with your email if you want to be added to those lists for information in the future, if you are new and are not on that list, or old and not on that list, as in coming a long time. All right, I don't have any action items. Barry, there was a few things from last meeting. Was there anything else on an action side that we needed to review? I was not here last meeting, so I'm not sure. If nothing comes to mind, then my guess is no.
Sorry, struggling with the mute button. Not that comes to mind. I will double check what I have in my notes, and I will bring it up.
Okay.
The only things I have is the, yeah.
Liz had a couple of follow-ups, but otherwise, I'm just looking at her follow-ups and notes from last time, and we could take a look at those under old business, I guess, just to see where we are on it. All right. So then we will move on, unless one more call for anyone that has topics to discuss tonight, and then we're going to move on to our new business. All right, we're going to clip along here. Happy holidays to us. Business. So I did see that we had a receipt, Yutha, of the capital project approval for 644 Riverside. Can you help us understand what that means to us and what that means as far as 644 Riverside? That's had a struggle. Yeah, I figured. Figured. 644 Riverside has been a long journey of the third-party transfer program. So those were
Deirdre, Barry, is that Deirdre's building?
No, it's
644?
Yvonne Stennett's build. It's Yvonne Stennett's building.
Oh, okay.
okay.
It's adjacent to Olga's.
Got it. Very, you saw that letter though of the
You know,
capital
640 and 644, those are the two buildings. I did see the capital project proposal. I think we might want to like advance an item onto the executive committee to like if we want to do a resolution about it. One of the big issues is 640 Riverside, which is the sister building. They have larded it up with tens of millions of dollars of debt. And so we want to make sure that doesn't happen with 644.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we need to just be aware of other than that? We've been given the receipt of this capital project approval. We want to make sure that they don't rack on lots of debt for it. Is it a good thing that it's been approved? Are we?
It didn't. Yes, we're on the right track in that the building needs the repairs, right?
Yeah.
But the issues are twofold. One is you don't want the building to go into foreclosure because they put too much debt on it. The second issue is you don't want the maintenance to be $3,000 a month for the apartment and just then force shareholders to rely on Section 8 funding or Section 8 to cover their maintenance. But then some people who don't qualify for Section 8 will be stuck paying full freight on $3,000 a month maintenance on a co-op where their rent may have been $500 a month when it was a rental. So there are specific questions, implications of the debt, both from an affordability standpoint and from a foreclosure standpoint. And then also you want to make sure that the work is done well, because the other issue that they had at 644 was they did tens of millions of dollars worth of work that was shoddy and had to get redone, adding to the cost. So those, I think, would be some of the things we would want to discuss with HPD and the other relevant participants like SHUHAB.
Got it. All right, so all right, we'll follow up about that. We'll talk about that at exec as well then, okay? All righty. Sorry, just looking at some notes here. One more call for any new business discussion. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our old business of the evening. No such, okay. All right, then going on to old business. We did, so Barry, you sent from HDFC Coalition. Yes, there is an HDFC Coalition who is a band of buildings and owners of these HDFC buildings that have come together, you know, for the betterment of HDFCs and making sure that their interests are represented in legislation and you know, politics and all of these things, making sure that they're heard. The bill S990, private housing finance law, there are tax abatements that are supposed to sunset in 2029, I believe. And so this is a bill regarding the tax abatements for HDFCs. Barry, the email that you sent, what was the update? I'm trying to remember. I have to go back and look at it.
It clarifies So the bill, there's a link to the actual bill language in my
That's fine.
email.
Yep, I'm gonna
But-
look for it right now.
It clarifies what happens to an HDFC after a regulatory agreement expires. And also it addresses some of the issues around dissolution of an HDFC, which I have not read through fully yet. And it also involves the regarding the creation of new HDFCs. Cannot have new ones can, but the ones cannot be essentially like forced into regulatory agreements. So it's a whole thing. It both bolsters, I think, the enforcement capabilities and responsibilities of the supervising agency, which in New York City's case is HPD, because HPD, if you don't know, has basically abdicated much of their responsibility for HDFCs over many decades, only to then come back 25 years later and attempt to foreclose on them and use other punitive measures. So I think it is attempting to curb the worst excesses of HPD and to make sure they actually do their job as a regulator over time rather than wait till it gets really bad. And then also relates to the imposition of new deed restrictions and regulatory agreements. But I have not fully read through it yet. So this is based on what it was explained to me on Sunday. And this is something that will be going into the session in Albany at the start of January. So I don't know if they'll vote on it, when it'll be in the budget, after the budget, before the budget. But it's something we should review before then and maybe have a resolution written about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so the action on this that is being requested is that we review it, and then if we're in support or not in support as such, write a letter on that. Well, if anybody wants to check it out, it is online, S9950 from the Senate. I see our own Robert Jackson here, or previous N now, Robert Jackson is the sponsor. Just if you don't know what an HDFC is, these are buildings that had been in disrepair back in 80s and 90s. The city didn't want to take over by any means. They were basically abandoned buildings. So they sold them to the tenants for a very affordable price and then told the tenants, now it's your job to clean it up and to put the sweat equity in to make it, a building that's a bit habitable. And they did it, some of them are in great shape. They did a fabulous job. Some are, struggling a bit. We're trying to support all of them because we want to make sure that these low income ownership buildings stay in perpetuity in our community. We don't want to see them lost because this is our last bastion of affordable housing ownership in this city. We have the biggest allotment of HDFCs in this neighborhood. So we take a special interest in HDFCs. You all, if you've been to these meetings, my fearless co-chair April Tyler, who left us a few years back, was very integral in this fight of HDFCs and making sure that they stayed healthy and strong. So we want to see, the tax abatements continue, and we want to see these buildings survive, thrive, and flourish. That's what HDFCs are. So we will take a look at that. Thanks, Barry. All right. I see we have Sean on the line from Manhattan Borough President's Office. Thank you, Sean, for coming. Why don't you say hello to us all, since we already did our introductions.
Well, I got a couple of Zoom meetings going, as you can hear in the background, so it's nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Sean is with Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine's office. If you have any questions for them, he's on the line. All right. Okay, well, thank you, Barry, for sending that. And we put the agenda back up. Okay. So developments we're watching. One of the things that we try to do is, it's always difficult, but try to get ahead of developers on buildings that are going up and down and all of these things. We don't have any formal say in developments that are what we call as of right. These are buildings that developers are building within the scope of zoning, land use requirements of the city. They don't have to, they're not asking for any sort of lenience or any sort of tax abatements from the city or things like this that would require them to come before us as a community board. The community board itself is made up of 50 volunteers. Yes, we're all volunteers. We do not get paid. We are not elected officials. We are appointed by elected officials. But we are volunteers. And so we are a body of the voice of our community that then is referred to by elected officials to get the opinion of their constituents. And so with that said, if they come before us, not as of right and have something they want to ask for, they have to come before us, and it goes through what is called a ULERT process, so that we can review the plan and see if it makes sense for the community, and we have a voice in that. If it's as of right, they are not required to come before us. We encourage them to talk to us and be good neighbors and learn from the community, you know, what we're looking for. But we do try to get as many developers to come before us and chat about what they're working on. So also management, like Barbara Stofers, thank you for coming. It's also great to have you here so you can hear feedback from the community and hear what they want to see in this community. That said, some developments we're watching. The regular ones, I have a long spreadsheet of developments. I can't go through every single one all the time, but I'll say that since we're 50 volunteers and on this committee 8, sometimes less than that. And Annette, you're here. Thank you. Hi. Oh, let me pause because that means we're at quorum. Thank you for making quorum, Annette.
I'm so happy to be here. Just ecstatic.
Annette, just say it with more enthusiasm, please.
Way to go.
When you're done signing it, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. But with Annette, that means that we have quorum and can officially call this to order. Annette, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Annette Robinson. I'm just so glad to see all of you. Welcome. I have arrived.
And so then we're going to call this meeting officially to order now, which means we can do official business if needed. Up to this point, we've been at attention. That means at 7:15, that is the time of the hour. This meeting is officially called to order, and if I can get a call to order and someone to propose that from the audience on the committee. Moving it, yes, thank you. Yeah, Ilana has moved it. I need a second. A move to accept the agenda, call to order.
So moved. Or no, yeah, you don't need to, you can call to order. There's no motion for that.
Then looking at the agenda, a call to accept the agenda into official.
To accept.
Annette and Ilana, thank you. And then did everyone have a quick second to look at minutes from November?
Of course.
I move to adopt the minutes.
Thank you, Barry. I will second that. So our minutes from November are officially accepted. Yutha will share that, make sure, I think it's already been shared with the office, but we'll make sure that gets into the exec and general meeting.
We no longer provide minutes at the general board.
You do it virtually, right?
Yeah.
You send it out digitally to everyone? Yeah, we don't waste the paper anymore. Which is good. I think we had way too much paper waste.
Trees are very happy.
Trees are happy with us. Yay, MCB9. All right, they're provided anytime digitally if you're interested in those minutes. So just reach out to Yutha in the office. You can reach out to our email as well, but it's not monitored as often. I'll just say that. All right, very good. That's our business that we had to take care of for our meeting. Thank you for hanging tight. All right, so we are back to developments we're watching. And so I was saying, because we're a small body, we ask for everyone in the community to keep an eye out on developments you may see coming up in the area. If they're as of right, of course, we can invite people to come and chat with us about it. But we don't necessarily have a formal say in the process. If they are city-owned property, HPD-owned, right, or end up being something more of that scope, then it will more likely have bearing on this committee. And so if you do see buildings that are coming up in the area and you're curious, or you are wondering what's coming up there, let us know. You can shoot us an email at mcb9housing@gmail.com. That's mcb9housing@gmail.com is our email. I don't monitor that every day, but I try to look at it, once a week. And if you see anything popping up in the area and are curious, we can take a look and see what's going on. By the way, anyone can look at the DOB Now site, which tells you what kind of permits are going in for sites. You can search it by an address. You can look it up. There's also some great resources online that can tell you exactly about zoning, land use. There's city sites that show that. So if you're curious, if you're a bit of a geek when it comes to data, feel free to look on your own on a site and let us know what you find out. Right, Annette?
Yes, ma'am.
We definitely depend on everyone else to be our eyes and ears. All right. So if you have any other developments you want to ask us about, let us know. Some things that we're keeping eyes on, we have been working on. I guess we'll very briefly talk, if anybody is aware of the 145th in Amsterdam. This has been a long process. That currently is a health and hospitals site that the city, it's under city ownership. They are looking at tearing down what there is there now, which is a clinic, and putting up supportive housing for folks coming out of the healthcare system. We have put in our 2 cents quite clearly with some resolutions on that. If you're interested to learn more about 145th in Amsterdam, which is owned by, going to be developed by BRC, Bowery Residence Community? I'm forgetting. And then if you would like to look at our resolution on that and see where we stand, please let us know. I don't have any updates on that necessarily. It's kind of on a dull, the back burner right now because they are still in the planning phase and it's a little delayed as far as I understand. We have certainly put in our 2 cents about what we'd rather see on that site. We would like to see a different scope on that project, though it doesn't sound like that's happening at the moment. So we shall see. If anybody else has updates on that, let us know. But that's where we are. There is also a development we're well aware of at 135th by the Amtrak rails. That currently did pass city council and the land use committee with city council and such. The planning commission, they are planning to build basically a housing unit around the track. Which to all of us seems quite absurd. But our city council member has signed on and the council is now on with that. We still would like to talk to Amtrak about this, and it doesn't mean done deal completely because they still, I believe they still have to get, you know, full approval from Amtrak. There's some other hoops that they have to go through. But that's where we are. We fight the good fight. We don't always win the fight. But that's where that one is.
There is a God, it's not over.
It's not over until it's over. I agree in it. I agree. So we will say the fight is ongoing, right? And that. Let's see, what else? Does anyone have any updates on some of the other developments we've been looking at? Nothing more on the St. Luke property that kind of fell through for them. I think there was a couple of people looking at development, but that has fallen through and that's dormant at the moment, I believe. St. Luke's on, what is it, 141? And near Convent, right? Yeah. Any other developments people want to discuss?
The Child's Memorial, is that straight?
Child's Memorial is moving forward, but with some, you know, input from us. We were kind of, our hands were tied by the Attorney General as far as the time frame. They're required to build that in 2 years for the church to have a space. That was a good requirement under an agreement that was made. And so we did talk to the developer and you know, ask for more family housing. What it is going to be is officially for families, but it's single studios. And we said, why single studios? Well, single mothers and you know, is that enough space? We don't believe so. We wanted to see family.
It's a shelter or housing?
It's a shelter. It's a shelter. There will be another building that the developer owns a little further down that we talked to them about, and they're gonna make that, transform that into all affordable housing. So there was a few things we were able to, you know, talk to the developer about, even though we have this requirement, we were able to, they wanted to work with us, they needed our approval, so we did. And then there's also a benefit, benefit plan, pot of money that they're gonna put in for the community. So we'll talk more about that as that develops, but right now the developer is working on that space. If you've seen, this is on Amsterdam between like 147, 148 or 146, where Child's Memorial once stood, the church where Malcolm X was buried, or well, not buried, but where the service took place. Yes, Ilana.
So the community, so they're gonna donate money?
So there's gonna be there's gonna be like the Columbia Community Benefits Agreement. It's gonna be that kind of pot of money. If you know a little bit more about how that money will work.
Yeah, it'll be a donor advised charitable fund where the community board it won't be donor advised, it'll be community advised charitable fund. Probably with the New York Community Trust, NYCT. But yeah, so that was part of what the developer had negotiated.
Yeah. There are some other new developments that are popping up, we're aware of, which there's the one on Amsterdam in 152, which is coming up. It's gonna be a housing. It's as of right, there's not gonna be any requirement of affordability. But that's coming up. There is a lot in the neighborhood, so I'm gonna ask if anyone else has anything they want to talk about, let me know here. But otherwise, we'll move along.
You know what's going on with the corner of 142nd Street, like right across from 644? Because it's like they knocked down the buildings, they started work, and it's just there.
Yeah, they're petty assholes.
That's a long journey for us as well. You're talking about where the cats used to live.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a long journey for us. The developer came to us. They've been tearing down brownstones on that block. Or they're preparing to do that. They've been buying those up one by one. they came to us asking for permission to do that and raise it to 17 stories, I think it was at the time. We fought that down, and
Right.
that, in the 11th hour, that got fought back. So they're
Yeah,
going back
they're
to.
counting on our elected officials to sell us out and undo the rezoning that Councilman Jackson and the board did in 2012 to protect that block for inclusion ultimately in a landmark district. So they're counting on being able to, secure the support of the elected officials over the objection of the community board and undo a rezoning that we just did in 2012, which limits the height there to 7 stories roughly. So
And
we know
that's
what
why
their game is.
that's why they have stopped, because I had noticed they had knocked down stuff, and then all of a sudden you have this big green paneling that's around it, but it's like brick everywhere. You have the little windows you can look through and so forth, and trees just growing, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will be finished probably within the next couple of months, and then all of a sudden it has just stopped. So I was just
So
curious.
the politics is that the Landmarks Preservation Commission is evaluating the neighborhood because the board supported a request for evaluation from the West Harlem Community Preservation Organization to look at doing a historic district. And so rather than have those potentially included in a district and thus limit their development potential, they preemptively tore them down. And so now when they go back to the city council and the city planning commission, they say, oh, well, that we already tore the buildings down, so you might as well let us build taller and we'll give you like 10 affordable units or some bullshit. But at that point, why have a zoning code? Because, yeah, anywho, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, continue to pressure our elected officials. That's your city council member, Sean Abreu. That's Borough President Mark Levine, and make sure that they know, we want to see more done. More housing, more affordable housing, but done in a smart way. We don't like these guys. These guys are not the right neighbors for us, but. All right, so moving along. Public member updates. I don't know if we have anything. We have a couple of our public members on, but usually what we have public members take a look at is some special projects to assist us on, maybe forums. We always have great ideas. Execution can be a little slow sometimes because we're all busy with full-time jobs and things like that, children, and busy schedules. But it probably would behoove us maybe in the new year to look at doing some sort of forum. I think we had talked about that a couple of meetings ago about what we would like to see. And there were some talks about a land trust workshop, something about land trusts. There's been, there's always the 101s of zoning and land use. There's always ideas of maybe bringing various block associations together, talking housing on, different types of housing with folks. If anybody has some thoughts of what they think would be really helpful. Yes, Ilana.
I think we need, again, like more tenant organizing workshops, like maybe we can do something with Palante, like, I think that would be great because.
Yeah, they offer those kind of things on their own too, so, let's make sure it's something that's not already offered and repeat, but I agree, it's always needed, tenant rights.
To get the word out, because not everybody, like I referred at least 2 or 3 people to Palante, they didn't even know, like people just didn't know, but just to get the word out and more sound bites out there.
Yep, it's surprising, it's always surprising when people don't know the resources that we have in this community. One of the reasons, these meetings exist is to help connect constituents, right? That's everybody in our community with the services that might be available to them. There are a lot of services in our neighborhood. Some of it very, started from community board work actually, and some of it, supported heavily by us. There's Palante. We also have some money from the community benefits agreement to give us legal, assistance, we'll say, and they still meet here at the office, Youth, every month. So
The
you can
first Thursday of every month.
tell us a little bit more about what people can, if they come to those meetings or those nights, tell us who it is. It's Manhattan Legal Services.
It's not Manhattan Legal
No, it's not them
Services,
anymore.
Palante.
It's Palante now, right? Officially all Palante now.
Yes.
So tell us when and what they can bring there.
They meet the first Thursday of every month in this room from 1 to 5 p.m. Whatever issues they have with their landlord, they can come, they take walk-ins, or you can call them directly or call the district office with whatever your housing concerns are.
Amazing. So any housing concern, come on the first Thursday, which this month or next month would be, let me look.
We probably are gonna change it because I believe that's the 2nd of January.
Yes, so
I'll check with them because that's so soon.
Yeah,
after the New Year.
that's too close to the new year. So there was one just last week on the 5th. But that's the first Thursday, you say?
Yes.
And it'll probably change for January, but come with your concerns 1 to 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And please spread the word, just these few people on the line, with your neighbors that might have issues, tenant concerns, landlord disputes, anything like that. Please tell them about that and that they can always call Palante, and they have their own open hours at Palante as well, that people can pop in, and even, they have lawyers on hand, so. Other
What time did you
resources,
say?
1 to 5 every first Thursday. And there's other resources in our neighborhood that we connect people with. The HDFC Coalition is another one where that's a coalition of owners and HDFCs. If you have if you're in an HDFC building, might behoove you to get involved in that. Anybody else have a great organization we want to make sure people spread the word about? Housing wise? Okay. So we'll think about what we want to do maybe next year. A forum, a workshop, that's one of the things we like to do to make sure that the community is getting the resources they need. But it takes lots of assistance and work, so.
Maybe we can also throw in like housing, I don't know if this Housing Connect is still going strong, but maybe we can also.
We're talking about the lottery system.
For affordable housing, I don't know if we have any in the area, but.
Yes, so when new developments go up that are required to have a portion of affordable housing, it goes into what's called a Housing Connect. Those people apply for units in Housing Connect. Of course, there's thousands and thousands of people that apply and very limited number of units that pop up, but these are the units that are considered to be affordable housing within new developments that people go into a lottery to be considered for. And if you win the lottery, then you can, get into one of these very affordable units based on income levels and things like that. So that's one of the things that happens with the ULURP project is if a developer is required to have a certain amount of affordable housing in their project, they come to us, we negotiate and talk with them about, how we want to see that happen. And then they work with Housing Connect and they work on filling those units. We sometimes will get a portion dedicated to Community Board 9 members. Sometimes there's senior housing dedicated to that, things like that. So, sometimes if you live in this district, you have a special preference too. So it's important to know Housing Connect, but understanding and navigating Housing Connect is another story. So we always push the developers to help with that and make sure that people understand how to apply. And you can apply anytime, right? You don't have to wait until housing pops up in the community. You can apply now, and then when housing pops up, you're approved and ready to be able to be in that lottery to be chosen. So there's a lot of people, of course, in that lottery, but that's a lottery, right?
And so I got my.
That's how you got your unit?
When they had co-ops, they don't really have.
Right.
Co-ops, but it's a shame, it was a great program like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Victor, did you come off mute? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, do we have anyone yet that's monitoring or checking on the NYCHA issue development there, going to section 8. Anyone from
You
the committee?
Miss Dunn volunteered, but we don't have
yes.
another volunteer.
No one from the committee itself?
Not at the moment.
Not
We
at the,
were looking outside the committee because no one could commit the time.
all right, maybe you could have them come to a meeting and give an update then, somebody from,
That would be the hope, Vic, is that if they go to the meeting, they come back in, or they report to us at least so that we can report it at the meetings.
no, I'm suggesting you have someone come from the new management company and speak to your committee
Oh.
and the public
Oh.
members, since we don't have anybody that's going at the moment, because that's moving along very quickly. And people really need to know what's going on there, so I'm just concerned. I went to 2 meetings, but they're moving quickly along with that process, and people are still a little confused.
Yeah, and so I feel like there's a couple of meetings going on. One is the tenants kind of forming together. The other one is with the management, right? So you've been going to the one with management and learning what's going on.
Yeah, the 2 meetings I went to was with management and tenants.
Got it. Okay. So, Vic, do you have the information of the management company on hand?
I can get it to you.
Yeah, and we'll invite them, or we'll ask the office to help maybe, but happy to reach out to them and ask them to come give us maybe a presentation or update at the January meeting.
Sounds good. I'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving along to MHCC updates. Barry, I think we're
Yes.
waiting. We're in a waiting phase, right?
Well, but we got an update. So we've been bugging. The rezoning is being conducted by the New York City Council Land Use Division. And we were bugging them to find out what was happening, where are we? The planner responsible for the project took a job at the mayor's office, and then the City Council Land Use Division was, in their words, consumed by City of Yes. So now that City of Yes has been finished and they have filled the position, they should have news for us on the state of the Morningside Heights rezoning by January.
Great. Thank you for the update. That is a rezoning that's been community led, which is very unique. So I'll just say that's a unique thing. It's Morningside Heights rezoning that was started and led by Morningside Heights Community Coalition. And Vic already kind of mentioned about NYCHA. We will have them come chat with us next meeting. If anyone here is a NYCHA resident, hopefully they can come in January and we can get an update from them. All right, next thing, so we have 2 task forces that were created many moons ago. The RKO Hamilton Theater Task Force, we're looking for some folks that might want to help lead the effort on the task force for this. We started this mission maybe, 10 years ago. If you know the RKO Hamilton Theater, it's where the is it Snipes? The shoe place, and which is it? It's not AT&T, or was it? Anyway, one of those phone companies, or Comcast or something, right? Is in that building now. It's an old theater, and we did actually a visioning meeting many years ago to talk about what we'd like to see in that location. It's currently owned by a developer named Ashkenazi. It's one of a lot of developments, or a lot of sites that are owned by them. It's not high on their radar, so we wonder if we hope we have some sway maybe in working with them to find a use for this old theater. We'd love to see it, maintained as a theater, and it's an art space plus some housing, affordable housing to go with that. That's kind of what came out of that visioning meeting. We had some meetings with Ashkenazi just to kind of put some feelers out. They're amenable to working with us on some visioning and ideas, but it's gonna take a lot of capital, a lot of money. There could be some, federal aid out there that could be tapped into. There's a lot of interest in it, but we do need the task force to fill out again and start meeting so that we can bring that back to life. I think we had some ideas of maybe some folks that might be interested or be willing to help lead that. All we're looking for really is someone that can help lead the meetings and bring the people in. And then the people in the community are interested. I've heard a lot of people that are interested. We just need someone to help lead that meeting. So it has to, at least one person from the community board has to be in charge of it. And then it can be community members at large who come in and make up the task force as well. That is open. Task forces are open to other folks in the community joining up, but we do have to have a community board member lead. So we'll keep working on finding someone to help with that. We need to take some people out to dinner probably.
I mean, it's, arts and culture, we have
Well,
committee too, but
nobody's stepping up there either.
in the
Is it?
water.
Actually, RKO and Film and TV Task Force are, I don't know how they fully got into housing other than, we just keep it on our agenda. It's also very arts and culture themed task force as well. So task forces are not official committees of the community board. They are created for specific projects or specific things that we're trying to move forward. The RKO Hamilton Theater, obvious one, we want to see that developed into something beneficial for our neighborhood. The Film and TV Task Force Ilana started that actually, thank you Ilana, with the vision to get the mayor's office more communicative with us of where they're going to be shooting and not trying to overburden certain blocks. I know the Arts and Culture Committee at one point was trying to, make sure local vendors were involved in the, craft services tables and things like that, and showing how they can be involved in that. So we're just looking for some folks that might be willing or interested to, and it doesn't have to be a monthly meeting by any means. It could be a quarterly meeting if that's all that's needed. And bring people together to talk about that issue. I know we brought the mayor's office in at one point to, talk about what our community wants to see there. So.
I have a question. So yeah, back to the RKO, because it comes up every month in the Arts and Culture Committee, and it's like the same thing for the past, not just this repetition, So we don't have why am I forget Dan? Because Dan Cohen was
doing a great job, yeah.
Doing a great job, and then there was the issue with the owners, they had the owner.
They had a death in the family, yeah.
And then there was also, I think, some other maybe structural issue, there were some sort of issues in terms of being able to build the affordable housing part or something, I don't know, there were issues there. But then it's
anything can be done with money.
No, I mean, I agree, because we had to develop, we had the architects come in and give two different assessments. And then there was a dance, I can't remember do you remember there was
there was a couple of
art
interesting.
Yeah, it's gone through some iterations. The community board has always struggled to balance our three priorities for the site, one of which is affordable housing, another of which is historic preservation, and the third of which is creating low-cost, available community arts facilities. And so, we've pulled on each of those corners of the triangle more or less at certain points, but we don't have, it needs someone willing to dedicate the time to make it move forward.
But does it have to, I mean, is there anyone else in the public at large or, you know what I mean? Does anybody have any outside of our. volunteers, right?
Advisors are welcome.
I'm just
Advisors,
wondering,
you know, are welcomed. Task force again can include anyone. If there are folks in the, you know, in the world of preservation, if there's folks in the world of affordable housing development that are interested to get involved, a task force is open to that. We just need to make sure that there's a community board member also on board. Again, it doesn't have to be a monthly task force meeting. It can be every other month. It can be, you know, something like that. So just putting it out there again. And
if
maybe
anybody
we
knows anybody in, outside of the board as like a public figure or anybody, like, you know, just put that out there because we can only do so much just as.
I know, it feels cyclical now. It
Yeah,
feels like
exactly.
we just keep going in circles.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Till updates. Barry, anything on the till side?
Not yet. City council budget cycle is going to gear up again in the next couple of months, though, so we need to be on the lookout for that. We should also file foils to HPD about the till buildings in our neighborhood that we know about. So there's one by Child's Memorial, one or two by Child's Memorial. There's another one that's Liz's favorite building on 141st. We should submit foils for any documents they have about those buildings because we need to know who these residents.
Yeah, okay.
Sydney, if I may,
Yeah, Vic.
just a quick thing. Walter Alexander had expressed some interest in the RKO Theater Task Force. So you might, when you get a chance, just reach out to him and see what his interest was or still is.
Oh, he's actually on the task force on the Arts and Culture Committee. Like it was me and Walter. We've been on it for like a few years now.
Which
So
task force is this? RKO Theater Task Force?
Yeah, we have a task force in the Arts and Culture Committee as well.
But it's the same task force.
It's the same task force. It's just, you know, that's where it
Oh.
shows up in arts.
But
and culture.
people,
But he's on it already.
So
But who,
what's happening
who
with
is, yeah, so who?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I made the comment because it's the same thing as
So we
here.
just need to start organizing
just-
meetings if.
It's the same thing going around, like, oh, what's going on with it? And we have the same conversations in that committee that we have here. So that's why, you know, nobody's really like able to step up and.
What's going on with it? No. What's going on with that is that someone needs to raise their hand and say, I will be the person responsible for this, and then do the work to move it forward. But, you know, it's work. It's work. We're all busy. We're all unpaid. Dan Cohen raised his hand and did that work. He is now gone. Someone else needs to raise the hand and be like, I'll be responsible for this.
Right. And then we don't have, like, I can't at this moment and nobody else seems to, so that's, yeah.
Sydney, when you get a chance, reach out to Walter for me, please, on that point of him leading it all together. So I
Yeah,
can
but Victor, all we need is someone who's willing to schedule the meetings, call you to find out a night that works and do a meeting. That's all that needs to happen. I don't know his comfort level of doing that, but yeah. I'm happy to do that. Again, it's not just our task force, it's all committees task force. So I want to make sure everybody knows that that it concerns everyone and they can all join, you know? So but I can see if Walter's willing to just set up meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. HDFC update, we already talked about that bill. There is a coalition if anybody is interested in getting involved on that level. They work with legislation and the benefit of HDFCs. We already talked about film and TV task force. Is there any other old business or items that we have not covered? I know, shoot, where did my note from Liz go about her notes from last time? There was a couple of things from last time that Liz mentioned. And now I can't find it, of course. Oh, there it is. A follow-up, oh yeah, we already did that. an invite to, oh, what is this? Invite to Khalil. Oh, maybe that was about NYCHA. Maybe that was NYCHA. Okay. Asking youth if we are getting filming updates from the city. Have we seen any recently?
I mean,
I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any, but Tiffany mentioned there was one that was taking up a lot of parking not far from, I don't remember the street, but I think it's near where they live, and that was a problem, and they said that, I said, well, find out, go to the flyers, you can find out what the production is, you can talk to the production manager, they have their phone number, I told them what to do, and I said, if you have any problems, call, the mayor's office of film and entertainment, but I haven't heard back from them, so.
So one thing we do like to make sure that we keep an eye on, if you notice that, one block is being used constantly for filming, we can reach out to the mayor's office and check on that. But we can also, we should be getting updates about where filming is happening. We were trying to get them earlier and earlier to try and give people notice.
They were sending it to Youth, and I think that just stopped.
Okay, so we need to ask Youth if she's getting those still and to forward them on. The other thing to know, if anybody's on this call and didn't know this, is if they are putting up those signs in your block that say we're filming here, reach out to the contact on that flyer that pops up, that's usually the production manager. Reach out to them and say, hey, you're using our block, taking our parking, got a little something in the pot to get to our block association, this school on the block. We got some money for our block association that way. So, they are willing to help alleviate some of the burden on the community in that way, monetarily. They have some money set aside to do that. So don't be afraid to ask.
Definitely worth asking.
It's worth asking. They usually have even $500, that's a nice little something we can use at our block party or block something, right? So that was that. Oh, and then the last thing is reach out to Arts and Culture on possible co-chairs. It says April Walter maybe, but we're seeing maybe if we need to take them out to dinner, right? Barry, we've been saying this is the cyclical thing. We keep saying it and we got to do it. Maybe a holiday thing.
For RKO.
For RKO, yes.
Yep.
All right, that's what I had for Liz's notes last time, which I was not at. So that is all our old business. I don't believe we have any action items. Yes, Ilana.
Move to adjourn.
Hold on, Ilana has a question.
I'm so sorry, just because I have Victor and Barry, I just have a question. Did anybody hear of a group called Defend Harlem that's talking about renegotiating the community benefits agreement? People were asking me about it, but.
Yes, Victor and I, it's an effort kind of being led by Senator Cordell Clare. Victor and I have been attending those meetings. There has been a lot of discussion and there is slow progress being made, is what I will say. And we're trying to plan a massive community organizing and outreach engagement strategy is the next step.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. All right, no action items. So Barry, I thought I heard some magic words from you.
I move to adjourn.
Annette beat you. You seconded because Annette beat you. All right, with that said, I would say happy holidays to everyone. Please take some time to rejuvenate yourself with family, friends. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough month. It's probably gonna be a rough January for some of us. So please take care of yourself this holiday season. I'm sending all good thoughts, happiness to you all. Next in January, our meeting is on the 14th. So please come for the new year. Maybe we can bring a little something to share and snack on to celebrate the new year with each other. So you all are the best. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next month. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Thank you.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Take care.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy
Thank
holidays.
you.
There we go.
Yeah, let me just stop the recording.
I'll send you the text. I don't know if the other meeting is open.
I'll bet we're getting out early today.
There we go.
go.